Welcome to the Life in Football Podcast, baby. I'm your host, Mike Feed.
And this your coach, Colin Moore. We loving life and enjoying football.
Top-notch coaches all around the world. Top-notch coaches all around the world. We got D-Dub on today, baby. Coach Danny Williams for Lakeland Christian, the football team that is on the rise, baby. And the coach is handling business, and he'll start on the rise, too. Also, they almost made it to the state championship game last year. They were one game away. They lost the game right before the state championship. And Lakeland Christian is a school located in Lakeland, Florida. They're a private school, but guess what? They got a beautiful stadium, amazing uniforms, and they got some top-notch athletes out there that you need to see. But on the better end of it, he got some great coaches on his staff, and they provide great information, and they giving kids opportunities to go ahead and play college football because they got a standard set, and they getting the kids ready and prepared to be the best. So without further ado, I'm gonna go ahead and let Simo bring him on.
How you doing, Coach? Coach, I want to get right to it. I know it's a lot of coaches, a lot of people who want to get into coaching and don't know how. So how did you actually go about to getting into coaching?
I started off just working my way up with the JV level. And first starting off, I didn't have a clue what I was doing. But I just had a passion for it, and got into working a little bit there. So I always encourage guys, man. I think the biggest thing is to start where you can. I think you learn how to do the things, learn how to coach JV a little bit, learn how to paint the field lines. I think you get in the weight room and learn how to run a weight room. I think you get the foundation and basics of stuff, and then I think you grow from there. So I think that's when you take on other things, especially when you're a head coach. There's so many. You're not just focused on one area. You're focused on several different things. I think you got to have a good understanding and idea of every aspect that goes into it. So I've been blessed to start off young, around the age, I think 22, starting coaching. Then, like I said, didn't have a clue what I was doing at that point, but got in the weight room and learned. I think there's so many people nowadays, they come in with all the answers. I think you just got to keep your mouth shut and look around and listen and learn. And I think when you do that, I think good things happen.
I hear you on that, Coach. And when did you know that you actually wanted to be a head coach? Like, when did it bubble up, or when did it just get going in?
Yeah, that's one. I don't know if I ever set out to want to do, be a head coach or be this or that. I know sports was such a big impact in my life, especially coaches. Looking back at coaches in football and also baseball, was another sport that I played. So I know I wanted to get into coaching, and I think the Lord has just took every year and mold you into what you want to be. And like I said, I don't sit down. I want to be here in 3 years. I want to be here in 7 years. I want to be where the Lord wants me to be every year. And I think that each year He's moved me to different places. Starting off at Bartow, then moving to Lakeland, and then coming over to Lakeland Christian. And it was just kind of a step up, and it's been a blessing each time.
Coach, if you could give us some of your background growing up, how was it growing up, like far as with your parents and looking up to people like coaches, PE coaches, and give us something that maybe inspired you during that time to be the person that you are today?
Right. Yeah. And both parents were around. Mom and dad, both of them, they got a divorce when I was in 6th grade. So that was a huge turning part in my life, where, they weren't around all the time. You're looking at different things. So that kind of was the point where sports really, really took a meaning in my life. So I needed somebody else, that both of them started, they start dating and doing different things like that. And it really, really, it was a big part of my life. And then my senior year in high school, my mom came down with Crohn's disease, and she was in the hospital for about a month straight, about 2 to 3 weeks straight in ICU. So just dealing with stuff like that, not understanding what's going to happen, what's going on, really, really took a toll on you. I had to grow up quick. My dad was around, but he worked and had jobs that took him out of the county sometimes. And he wasn't always around. So when those are things like that, you just had to grow up quick. So I realized quickly I had to get my butt up and make it to school on time. There wasn't nobody checking on me. And, so there was those coaches that had the impact. Coaches checking on you. Had that, those guys were the ones making sure your grades where they needed to be, making sure you're doing the little things right, kind of give you the inspiration to want to go play college sports and do those kind of things. So when you look back on it, those were the people that kind of fit that void. Like I said, I had good parents. I don't want to make it sound like I did not. But there's a void there. I think anybody can find, that. I think that a lot of times us as coaches, we're around those kids just as much as their parents are. So you want to play that impact, have that impact, and play that role with you guys.
Coach, I love everything you just said. You got me want to go and play for you right now. And I'm looking at a team that you have built in a program that has a lot of support. Could you speak on some of your players and their parents, as far as the buy-in and the buy-in from the supporters? Could you speak on that a little bit?
Yeah, absolutely. I think there's three things when you look at when I talk, different venues and stuff. I always say there's three things. I think you got to have administration first. I think you got to have players second, and then you got to have parents third. And if all three of them are on the same page and want you to succeed, that's where your program takes off. A lot of times you have, players and parents, but administration is not on board. So our administration is great. They're very supportive of sports, especially football. They're definitely supportive of us being successful, doing the things we, as a small school, having a football class at the end of the day, they do a lot of things to allow us to be successful, for a small school. Second thing is players. I mean, let's put it down to it. I mean, there's last year, offensively, we weren't the best, and I think a lot of people probably went down as being one of the worst offensive coordinators. And years past, everybody says, "Oh, you're the greatest." It comes down to players. Do you got players that can make plays, or do you don't? And I think they make coaches look better sometimes than what we really are. So you got to have players. And then the third thing is parents, because those kids are going to go home, and they're going to listen to their parents, and it's trying to get when they buy in. So that when they go home and they're, complaining to mom or dad, well, coach did this or coach said that, two things happen. They either say, well, you better buckle up and listen to coach, or they give them an avenue to make an excuse or an avenue out, and I think that's what we run into nowadays. So I think you have to have relationships with your parents. I think they have to understand there's that line, but they have to have buy-in also. And when they buy in, and they go home and the kids are hearing it from coaches are on the same page. Well, they go home and mom ain't gonna, daddy ain't gonna sit there and listen to it. They know they got to buckle up. And that's kind of what we have at our place. And it's really has took over, the last 4 or 5 years, with Wayne Peace being the head coach and all of us guys being around. And now that I've been the head coach and taken over, but it is not just me. I mean, our coaching staff is phenomenal. I mean, and I think, Thomas Berry was on here one time. I mean, he's one of the best coaches around. There's no doubt about it. John O'Neill's another one. I mean, our coaching staff has been together pretty much the same for the 9 years we've been here. So we speak the same language. The kids hear the same language. So there's no when you start doing that kind of stuff, it takes those excuses and kind of pushes them out the door.
Now, Coach, you just spoke on Coach Thomas Berry, Coach John O'Neill. Now, I do my research, and apparently you guys all went to Bartow High School.
Very true. Very true.
That.
Yeah, we all went to school. Me and Barry, we've been best friends since 6th grade. We both went to Bartow Middle School together. We really got close. Like I said, my senior year when my Crohn's disease, his mom came down with cancer, so we kind of, had to lean on each other a little bit that year. And that's where we really got close. And then John O'Neill, he's a little older than us, but we all around the same age. And there's some good times at Bartow now.
Now, Coach, so coaching with guys you grew up with, I know that has to be one of the best parts about coaching, because a lot of coaches don't get that, but the ones that do, I know that gotta almost be.
It is. What? A lot of our thought process is about the same. I think we all agree. Now, John O'Neill, he sometimes, he's wild, he's crazy. He took hog hunts all the time. And he's on that spectrum. I'm a little on the more of we need to make sure we're not getting hurt. And Barry's kind of in that middle. He kind of keeps us grounded to where we kind of need to be sometimes. So we all have the right mind track on where we need to be. And we all kind of hold each other accountable in those areas.
Coach, if you could, let us all in how it felt to have a successful season, how you had last year, and getting so close to the state championship game. What do you tell you guys going forward? And could you speak on the situation last year, just getting so close and having a successful, but you had a successful season as well.
Right. What's funny is we look back on it, and it was the first time since I've been there 9 years we actually started 0-2. And after those first two games, we all kind of looked at each other, and it was some rough times. And the good thing is we only had 6 seniors on the team. At that time wasn't good. It is now because now all our kids are back, but our juniors took over. And they realized we had some meetings that took place, and some leadership took over. And man, we hit the next 3 games, or our third game from the season to the end, and we didn't drop once till the last round of the playoffs. So those kids buying in was huge, man. And you talk about what does it take, and then those kids really understood a genuine love for each other. Put everything aside, all the things we fight with, all the things that are actually going on in the world right now. Those kids put all their distractions aside, and when you love each other, and you want to fight for each other, no matter who you are, where you come from, that's when your team comes together. And that's what happened with our group last year, man. They genuinely wanted to play with each other. And if somebody was going to go down, they were going to go down with them. So man, it was fun. It was fun hosting 3 playoff games. Obviously I think we wish we'd have played a little better in that last game. But I mean, just making a run like that was fun.
Coach, I appreciate you coming on with us today. But right now, I'm going to go ahead and open up the floor to you to give you the opportunity to speak to the people out there, to let them know how could their kids be a part of Lakeland Christian football. Also, what you guys have coming up this upcoming season, far as the plans and the practices, and can they expect to even attend games, and whatever any other information that you may want to provide. Coach, the floor is now yours.
Appreciate it. Yeah, LCS it's a unique place. It's a great school. Football, I think we've had football there for now, I don't know, 13, 14 years, and it's for the most part, it's kind of young, so it's taken over. We feel like we have a great program. We've been successful. Now we've made the playoffs last 3 years in a row. So when you talk about a school that's academically, that spiritually is sound, where your sports programs are where they need to be, you have, it just goes and ties hand in hand. So I couldn't say anything more about how LCS as a school is just the best place I've ever been to. As far as next season, we're excited. We return. We already had 17 starters back from last year. We've had a handful of transfers that came over. Obviously, a little bit of success you have, people want to be a part. So we've had a few athletes transfer in, which really helps our team. Since I've been there 9 years, we've not rolled a team out with this much depth. So we are excited. I think the state has made their announcement last Friday that we're going to start on the 24th. And I think they provide us with a 10-game season. So we're excited. I think we are obviously anxious to get started to see what we have. But we definitely feel like we have another group that can make a run like we did last year. And our goal is obviously to get another game further. We want to make it a state championship game.
Thank you, Coach, for coming on and joining the Life in Football podcast today. Y'all just heard one of the most brightest stars that's coming up in the coaching world. They call him D-Dub, Coach Danny Williams. And I'm telling y'all, I love everything that I'm seeing from the program. We actually had a chance to attend a few games last year, and, we enjoyed it. And I'm letting y'all know right now from Life in Football, Lakeland Christian is a team we always going to be down for, and y'all need to be down with them too. Y'all better go get over there and get in this school and try to get you a slot with this coach, because I'm telling you, he's looking for success, and he's trying to make the kids into the best. So I'm going to go ahead and leave y'all like I always leave y'all. Keep your head up and not down, or else you'll fall to the ground. This is the Life in Football podcast. Catch you next time.
This is a new day to live your life. This is a new state, I try to get right. This is a new day to get on track. Yeah, that's life in football. This is a new day to live your life. This is a new state, I try to get right. This is a new day to get on track. Yeah, that's life in football. It's life in football.